What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So how do you think Jim Jordan, who is running for speaker, how do you think he feels about Social Security? Is he for Social Security, for an increase for Social Security, or expanding Social Security, or does he want to make cuts to Social Security? So I'm going to show you a couple of Twitter posts, and it's very interesting, and these are good. One's a good organization, Social Security Works, as well as Representative Larson. He posted something about Jim Jordan. So we're going to take a look at both of those today. But first off, you guys can do me a favor. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell notification, and then click all. By clicking all, you'll get notified anytime we post a video. We do daily videos here, so by clicking the bell notification and clicking all, you should be getting updated every day. And just a reminder, thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. And if you'd like to follow me on Twitter and Threads, you can at the TEC Show Live. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about this because it's very important. This is a crucial time when it comes to Social Security. We know that they need to reform Social Security. Is Jim Jordan the right person to get legislation passed to do just that, to reform Social Security and to provide potentially an increase for Social Security? Is he the right speaker for the job? And so I want to show you a couple of Twitter posts. Now, I like going on Twitter and just searching different things. Search Social Security, and this is what comes up. So we have, and I looked at this. I'm not going to play it. It's pretty much a campaign ad against Jim Jordan. So I do want to show you Social Security Works, and I've talked about Social Security Works before. They're a nonprofit organization, and their main goal is to help Social Security beneficiaries get everything that they're entitled to. They've come on as experts in congressional hearings, and they're really strong advocates for Social Security. Okay, so let's see what they have to say in this post. It says, "A vote to make Jordan speaker is a vote to destroy Social Security." And then they have the little information here. Jim Jordan wants to raise the retirement age to 70. So if you're raising the retirement age, the full retirement age to 70, you're cutting benefits. So currently you have to be 66 to 67 in order to receive that full retirement benefit. So to get 100% of your benefits. Now they want to push it off to 70, which means you'd have to wait an additional 3 years. And that can really impact people, especially people around 57, because in 10 years, we know that they need to do some type of reform for Social Security. And so at that point, they could say, okay, we're going to push it off. We're going to raise that full retirement age up to 70. And that would mean that people who are 57 and thinking about retiring in 10 years, they might have to wait a few additional years in order to retire. And then it goes on to say here, Jim Jordan wants to make it unconstitutional for Social Security to pay promised benefits. So just interesting that Social Security Works is posting stuff like this. And like I said, they're an advocate for Social Security. So you do want to listen to what they're saying because it does, you know, they've been pushing to improve Social Security for years and years. Okay, Representative Larson. Now, we all know Representative Larson. If you don't know Representative Larson, he is the sponsor of the Social Security 2100 Act. And he will reintroduce that every session, just trying to get politicians to vote on this. They haven't voted on it yet, but it does provide a small increase for Social Security. It also has a small increase for COLA. So people receiving COLA across the board would receive a 2% increase. So 2% on top of whatever COLA is. So I think it's good, just like we were just talking about COLA right now at 3.2%. You would get an additional 2% on top of that. So it would have been 5.2%, which would be a nice little bump. It would be almost twice as much as what people are going to be receiving now. Okay, so let's look at what Representative Larson says here. So at the top here it says, House Republicans' extreme speaker nominee has a long record of supporting plans to cut and privatize Social Security benefits. I just voted to oppose Jim Jordan's bid for speaker. Okay, so let's look at his illustration here. It says Jim Jordan's record on Social Security, co-authored a plan to cut benefits by raising the retirement age to 70. So he's saying the same thing as Social Security Works said. And then he's saying supports privatizing workers' earned benefits. Now, the privatizing, I'm going to talk about that at the very end of this video when I come back to a full screen. And then it says here, voted for a 30% cut to Social Security Administration funding, and then voted for a commission to fast track benefit cuts behind closed doors. Okay, so when it comes to privatizing Social Security, and this is something that people, there's a lot of misinformation out there, and it looks good on its face when you start talking about it. Yes, you know what? We'll let you take a portion of your Social Security, the money that you're paying in your payroll tax. You can take a portion of that and you can invest it in the stock market. If the stock market does well, then guess what? You're going to have extra money. And it all sounds good. But what if the stock market doesn't do well? If the stock market doesn't do well, then now you're going to be in the hole. And then also, if you're taking money out of the system, if you have the payroll tax paying, because right now, the money that's coming in from the payroll tax, it's all being used. It's all being used to pay for people who are currently receiving benefits. Now, if you take a portion of that, let's say you take 2% or you take 3% of that, and you allow people to invest that on their own, then guess what? You're taking that out. And so that would mean that the trust funds, which we have the trust funds now that hopefully will last at least 10 more years while Congress gets their act together and reform Social Security. But that trust fund is going to have to pull more money because you're taking some money from the payroll tax. And so that's why when you hear these politicians talking about privatizing Social Security, it would be a disaster for Social Security, and it would really hurt the program and put us in a situation where we could see the trust funds run out of money much sooner. And if they run out of money much sooner, then there's going to be an automatic cut to Social Security. And the only people who would really benefit from privatizing Social Security would be younger people who aren't retired yet, because they can invest their money and then over time, hopefully over time, they'll have a nice little nest egg. But the people who are currently receiving Social Security, they're going to suffer as a result of it. So it's not a good setup. And anytime I hear politicians talking about this, I'm really concerned because I don't want them to try to move to this and say, well, this is the only opportunity or the only option that we have. And so that's why we're going that route. And so we're going to continue to watch this speaker race, and we'll see if Jim Jordan becomes a speaker. If he does become the speaker, guess what? He controls the floor. He can call bills to the floor anytime that he wants. And he can he doesn't have to call bills to the floor if he doesn't want to. So you could have a good bill for Social Security that's waiting to be called to the floor, and it could never get called to the floor because Jim Jordan might not want to move that way. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the very, very near future. But I just wanted to give you some insight on how these special interest groups feel about Jim Jordan, as well as how some of his colleagues feel about him as a speaker. If you guys have any questions, post them down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.